Hey guys, welcome back. Today is part 2 of our Better Arms series. Today we are hitting the biceps. And so there you go. There's a look at it in all its glory. We're going to help you guys out, get some arms like that, or well, at least somewhere close to that.
Maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe a little better. Okay, well, we're ambitious today. That's
yes.
good. So today we're going to talk about the biceps. A little bit about the anatomy. There are 2 heads of the biceps, as the name would indicate. The short head and then the long head. Insert the jokes at this point. So the important thing to remember about the long head especially is it actually attaches up here into the shoulder. So knowing that, we know that it's going to flex the shoulder as well as flex the elbow and supinate the forearm. 3 functions of the bicep.
It's a lot of movements.
It's a lot of movements, and we always think of the bicep just flexing the elbow.
Yep.
You know, but it also supinates the forearm and it flexes the shoulder a little bit. So we want to make sure we give you guys different exercises that do all 3 of those functions so you get the absolute best workout that you possibly can when it comes to building your biceps to completely round out the whole picture there and give yourself the best arms that you've ever had. Okay?
Get that nice build.
Exactly. So we're going to start off with working on specifically the long head. Now that's done here, as Chaz is doing, through a barbell curl, and he's just doing a basic barbell curl, kind of focusing on the slow eccentric, lowering it down slow.
Some big plates.
Yeah, those are big plates,
yeah.
10 pounds, but it looks bigger than
More like 20s.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and then he's going right into this drag curl, and this drag curl is emphasizing the long head. It's going into the peak, so you're getting more emphasis on the peak of the bicep. So that's really an important thing to do.
Especially in that rear double bicep
right.
pose.
Right, exactly.
You can see those biceps poking out.
Exactly. So this is a good move to make sure that you incorporate for that part of it. And then another one for the long head is the internal dumbbell curl. Okay, is when you're bringing your arm in and you can see the outer portion of the bicep. That means you're working that long head. So on the internal bicep curl, we're going across the body, supinating the forearm a little bit to make sure that we get maximum contraction of that long head of the bicep. And then another fantastic exercise that is not a curl, but it addresses all 3 of those criteria of what the bicep does is a shoulder flexion, the forearm supination, and the elbow flexion is done through a chin-up. Chin-up's one of the best ways you can do that. And I'm doing that, just making sure that I keep my body a little bit further away, so I'm emphasizing more of the bicep, a little less of the lat.
Yeah, you get a lot of pull from the bicep on that.
Yeah.
I've actually never used that for a bicep routine, but it's a good idea.
You get a lot of bicep activation when you're doing
I've even done those rear pulls with a bicep routine just to emphasize, but I never actually did that just to emphasize. So that makes sense too.
Yeah, so it's a great bicep builder. All right, so then the next point that we want to make is on the inner part of the bicep, that short head, and we can do that through this external rotation offset supination curl. I know it says a lot, it's a big mouthful, but Chaz will explain kind of what we're doing here.
So basically on this one, when you lead out, you're curling out with the hands leading out like so, just like you were doing, it's kind of like the crossbody hammer almost. This one's a little bit different.
It's flaring
you're leading out and you're flaring the arms out, so you can get a press through the outside of that bicep, which actually presses the inside out. So you can actually feel it through the whole bicep, but you're working that short head.
Right. There's really no way to isolate, but there's kind of a way to influence.
But just like you said, when you bring that out and they're exposed,
right,
you're working that muscle.
Right, that's a good indicator. Is whatever part you see, like if you're facing the mirror and you can only see the outer part of your bicep, then you know you're working that. And it also has to depend with the grip. But we're going to talk about that right now is the brachialis. And the brachialis is not a bicep muscle, but it lays deep to the long head of the bicep and is responsible for a lot of that width. It gives that arm that width.
That's my favorite muscle.
Yeah, especially from the front. So you get the width of that arm. So if you build up that brachialis, it will push up that long head of the bicep, giving your arm a wider look. So we can do that in a couple different ways. We can first of all do it with the pronated crossbody dumbbell curl, okay? Now pronation is the opposite of supination. So instead of turning your forearm toward the ceiling, you're gonna turn it down. So as you curl, you're gonna bring that dumbbell across your body, almost in a hammer curl position, but then keep going into a pronated position. That's going to really tap into that brachialis and just make it pop out.
Hopefully not all the way.
Right. And then finally, you want to cover the crossbody hammer curl on the cable, like if people are short on time. And want to do 2 at one time.
Yeah, that's a great one that I use a lot because I'm always pressed for time, really busy. So this one you can just take the rope and you can just I would connect 2 ropes to the same cable to where you can lead out and actually bring those outward to where you bring those cables out when you actually come up to flex and curl. So bringing those hands in but out, you can still expose that bicep and still get your movement for the cross body, but you're doing it with the rope, which actually makes it easier to manipulate, easier to flex. You can use lighter weight and resistance, and then plus you're not having to go grab dumbbells left and right, and you can just stay right there, get your business done, leave.
Time efficiency.
Yep.
All right, guys, so there you go. So hopefully you guys have learned something over these past 2 videos in order to help build your best arms possible. I think we did a pretty good job of presenting people that idea, don't you?
Look at that lighting. Oh.
Well, he's definitely got good arms, so hopefully you guys implement these facts that we've talked about the past 2 weeks so you guys can get great arms too. So we'll come back here with more videos, of course. If you guys have any ideas for different topics you want us to address, as always, just send them our way, and we'll do our best to address those issues.
I think we've addressed every single one that we've gotten. Not too many.
We've made a lot of videos.
I think people are afraid or just don't want to ask or say, hey, you should do something on this because they want to know about it. You need to ask us, message us about it, because we want more ideas about videos. Even though we got tons, we got thousands of ideas, we like to know what yours are. So we can touch base on those aspects as well.
Yeah.
Scientifically.
Scientifically, that's the key.
It's science.
Yeah. Science. Have a good week, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.